Alright, I think we're ready to go. I'm getting a little bit better at streamlining this. Hello, Shadowcat back, and we're finishing up, I hope, this Star Trek module. Got a few more things to do. Got one more really big thing to do, actually, that I kind of forgot about until now. So, we'll get that out of the way first. Then we've got a couple of extra things, like extra races and stuff like that. And then I figured, maybe we'll go ahead and try to put something together. Why not? Should be fun. We're gonna have fun doing this. Alright, so we are not starting soon. We are started. Alright, and I already know that Tux is in the chat, so hello Tux, good to have you here. What are we gonna need today? We're going to need, of course, our spreadsheet. There it is. And we're going to need our browser. And there that is. Alright, so, still on this page. Don't actually need this page right now. Although, I should move this over. So it's at least kind of closer. You know, like right there. That's good. I'm going to stick that there. Right. So this was a solar system model so that I could actually measure distances and stuff inside star systems. That's all good. Love it. This was fantastic. Hello, JP. Good to have you here, too. Tux says another exciting game of spreadsheets and statistics. Hey, it's been going since the 1980s. It ain't about to stop now. This is the best game since Humans and Homeowners. Alright, so, things that I had planned to do today was things like additional races, but it just occurred to me that there's one more thing that I need to work on before we can do that. And for that, we're going to need a new spreadsheet. So, we're going to go ahead and copy these two cells here. Come over here to this one. Alright, I guess that one's kind of already taken. Never mind, we're going to need a new sheet. Okay, JP says he's going to go get some coffee. You do that. Coffee's gross, but, you know, you do you. Alright, so we're going to do another one, and this one is going to be the Armory. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I did. Hello, Blizz. Good to have you in the chat, too. Okay, so first things first. Format cells. I want this formatted to text. I want everything bolded so it's easier for me to read. And we're going to do it in Star Trek font because, well, Star Trek is better. There we go. Tux says coffee is great with a hazelnut creamer. Coffee is just gross in general. Don't drink it. It's also potentially bad for you. Okay, so if we're going to do weapons and armor, here's what we're going to need. We're going to need a column for weapons. And probably another one for armor. So I think we'll do this very similar to how we did the ship weapons. Where we'll have the weapon we need over here. Then we'll have the Starjammer equivalent. And then anything extra we need. We won't need to worry about these numbers over here because personal weapons and armor don't have a PC or BP. But they do have things like weight, so we may have to figure that in. But I don't think that the weight is going to be all that different for these. So we'll just be borrowing a lot from Starjammer. We'll be largely just reflavoring. So I will be borrowing this header. Put that right there. This will be able to just merge and center because it's all about making it pretty. Oh, let's just center everything in here. There we go. All right. Now, if we go over to the browser, on the official Star Trek Online wiki, where do we have weapons? Equipment. Okay, personal equipment. So personal equipment, we have body armor, personal shields, ground weapons, and kits. Now, kits we can ignore. Kits are the equivalent of your class features in Starjammer. In Star Trek Online, kits are what gives engineers their engineering abilities, they're what give tactical officers their tactical abilities, and so on and so forth. That's already covered under the entire idea of your class features, so we don't need to worry about that. Also, did I ever fix my mic? Yes, I did. Okay, we're good. Do I sound good? I hope I sound good. Actually, I don't. I never sound good. I don't like this mic. I need to get a better mic at some point. Someday. Someday. But that day is not this day. Okay, ground weapons is primarily what we're going to be working on. Body armor. Personal shields, however. There is no real equivalent in Starjammer for personal shields, I don't think. I think that the only way you get personal shields in Starjammer is some really, really super advanced... Or maybe not. Personal shields. Oh, wait, no, these are, like, actual shields. So, tactical shields, riot shields, these are, like, just... yeah. Unless the tactical shields are, Oh, Tuck says I sound terrible. The microphone is just fine, though. Good to know. That's what I needed. That's what I needed to hear this morning. Tactical shields. It is a small mobile defensive plate you carry on one limb and can maneuver to intercept attacks. Yeah, this is like a buckler shield. So, shields, like Star Trek would use, aren't really a thing here. I think the closest you get is with, like, heavy armor. Because I think the Aegis series of armor will have a personal shield in it, but I'm not sure. Yeah. So, we may have to kind of invent that from the ground up. Which should not be that hard, actually. We'll just invent a piece of armor that you can equip. It'll say, maybe take up a back slot. Because when it comes to equipment, let's see, what are the slots that we have to fill? Let's see, cred sticks, carrying capacity, magic. There is something in here that will show me where we can equip stuff. Where was it, though? I don't remember. But yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just make up an item that we can use as personal shields. They may have to be a little bit kind of up in the air until we can test them and make sure that they work right. Yeah, because I don't see anything in here about that. Okay, well, like I said, we'll work on that as it comes. So, body armor, personal shields have to be worked on, but the body armor and ground weapons should be pretty easy. So, first off, let's get started with the weapons. Now, ground weapons are going to be pretty easy because, well, we just have to look at, I mean, what do we have here? So, weapon type, we've got compression pistols, dual pistols, needle pistols, rapid fire needle pistols. Sure. This is literally everything, but primarily the only things we need to worry about are compression and duals, because these needle pistols are kind of niche. These are not the ones that come in like every flavor. Or no, right here. Actually, it lists it right here. Pistol, compression, dual, stun, and wide. Rifle, full auto, high density, sniper, and split. And then assault weapons will be assault miniguns, blast assault, and pulse wave. Believe it or not, this is actually going to translate over very, very well. Because weapons in Starjammer come in basically... Well, not basically. There's a lot of different types. But we have basic melee and advanced melee. So, I mean, advanced melees these are kind of like your powered ones, generally speaking. Small arms are just that. They're pistols. Long arms are your rifles. And heavy weapons are exactly what you think they are. This is where we'll get our miniguns and cannons. As for sniper weapons, they're kind of their own category, but we'll work on that. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we're going to need a separate heading here. So I'm going to... Well, no, undo that. Copy, paste, because I just want to erase those. This is going to be pistols. Well, pistols / small arms. Just so we've got both the headings in there. Instead of Star Trek Online weapon, we're going to go with type here. Because primarily, we're just going to go ahead and pick an appropriate small arm from the list. And from there, we just need to figure out what makes each one different. What makes a phaser different from a disruptor, different from a polaron. So we're going to go ahead and move this down again. We're going to go ahead and just say that this is going to be, say, a compression pistol. Alright, so let's take a look at compression pistols. So compression pistols are a type of ground weapon. They primarily shoot bolts of energy. They have a secondary fire that hits a single target with a high damage bolt of energy. After a short charging period, they have the ability to deal significant damage if the target is exposed. Is this something that we really even want to deal with? Now that I think about it, maybe we don't. It also has a 2.5% chance of applying specific effects to the target unless otherwise stated. So yeah, compression pistols have the chance to knock people backwards. The same is also true of high-density beam rifles and blast assault cannons, as well as the pulse wave assaults. I'm not sure if I even want to go there. Yeah, I actually don't think I want to. I think we're going to do this a little bit differently. Forget the secondary ability of these. We're not going to bother. Okay. We're just going to pick up a pistol, and we're going to make it different for each one of these. Alright, so instead of looking at the different types of weapons here, I just want to look at damage types and bonuses. JP just says, keep it simple. Do we need different energy types? Yes, we have to have the different energy types. That's what we're going to work on now. So, damage types for the ground. Overview, don't need it. I want the specifics. Okay, phasers. Phaser damage is displayed as orange in color, sometimes as a pale yellow. Andorians, I don't really care about that. So, what do these get? It says here, energy bonus, 5% chance for a +2 hold? I'm not exactly sure what that means or how I'm going to translate it. I think what that means is since holding in Star Trek Online is the equivalent of stunning, it would be a chance to basically stun somebody. And that's fine, because that's generally what phasers do. Disruptors. The energy bonus is a 10% damage resistance debuff. Okay, so yeah, this energy bonus is what we need. So instead of a chance, this will basically be on crit for all of them, because that's how ground weapons in Starjammer work. They have... hold on. They have their normal damage, and then they have an extra crit effect. So, for example, this sword cane here, because it's the only example I have right now. A sword cane will do damage, however, if you crit with it, you get to inflict severe bleeding that will do damage over time. That's what we're going to go for with these. Now, the question then becomes, do we have anything that will cause stun? What is this staggered? Here's what we're going to do. I need to duplicate this. So we're going to duplicate this so we can come over here and look up conditions, I do believe. Yes, conditions. Staggered is here. A staggered character can take only a single move action or standard action each round, but not both, nor can you take any full round actions. That sounds good. I like that. That's almost perfect. So if we know that we're going to be using staggered for phaser, we can come over here and we can put in phaser and actually staggered. So that's what phaser will do. Now we just need to have our equivalent weapon. So we're going to come down and we're going to look at small arms. And unfortunately, there's no easy way to go through this list, and it is incredibly long. Two-handed weapons. Ah, here we go, small arms. So because small arms, well, because all the weapons in Star Trek Online tend to be, they tend to be beams. I think we'll go and look for one of those. So, lasers. Lasers are always good. Plasma. We might be able to simply work on plasma as it is, but I think we'll go ahead and use laser weapons as our base, because there's a lot of them and there's a nice spread. The question is, how are we going to make these more accessible? Because there's only 6 of them across 17 levels, and I feel like we should have the ability to have more. Well, maybe, actually. I don't know. This is actually pretty balanced as it is now that I look at it. No, actually, this is actually pretty good. I take it back. I like this. This is actually pretty good. So we'll use laser pistols as a base. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. We'll move it down. We'll go ahead and say use laser pistol, well, stats. Now, hopefully this will apply to all of them, because this means that the laser pistol has a range of 80 feet, 90 feet, 100 feet max. That would be, since every square on the map is 5 feet, we're talking about a range of 20 hexes to 18, or no, 16 hexes. That's not bad. Well, not even hexes, squares. We only use hexes for space. No, yeah, that's good. That's a good range. That'll be useful in almost every situation. The other thing that really goes farther than that, you'll have sniper weapons for that. Okay, so that's what phasers do. Disruptors. So disruptors give a damage resistance debuff. I don't think we really have anything like that. Let's see, asleep, bleeding, blinded, broken, burning, confused, cowering, dazed, dazzled, dead. Deafened, dying. No, we really don't have anything like that here. So we'll have to make something up. We will have to make something up. And I think that we'll do this really easily just by giving it extra damage. Maybe. I mean, after all, that's what disruptors do. They disrupt. So I think we'll give it like a 50% extra damage on crit. So, disruptor, and on crit, it will be, say, half the damage dice. Yeah, so just go plus 1/2 damage. Which is actually pretty standard for most criticals when it comes to games like Dungeons & Dragons, because that's like a really easy base rule you can use if you don't want to, or if you want to lower the amount of dice rolling you're doing. So that's easy. Alright, what's next? After Disruptor we have Plasma. Plasma's super easy because Plasma simply will inflict burning. So, Plasma burning. Next, Tetrion. So Tetrion has the chance to do extra damage to shields. Since we haven't made our shields yet, that's going to be a bit hard. But I'm going to put this in right now. Tetrion. Plus shields. Once we've got our shield system figured out, we'll come back to this. Polarons. So Polarons have a 5% chance for weapon malfunction for 5 seconds. That's... I do believe that is actually doable. The reason being... Oh, do we not have jam mechanics in this game? I thought we would. Oh, I thought we would have jamming mechanics. Okay, I have an idea. So we're going to duplicate this tab again. The reason being, we're going to go... What do you mean blocked? Go. Fine, we'll do it this way. Don't tell me what to do. Let's see. JP says deflection mechanic versus shields. Thoughts? I don't know. We'll get to it. Also, Tuck says change the text color to red or blue. I mean, if I was going to do anything, I would probably just change like the entire thing to black, so we have a black screen and white text. I will go through and color code everything later, I promise. In fact, I mean, we can do that now. So we can go with black. And there we go. That's always much easier to look at. And go ahead and no-fill that so we have kind of the better thing. White text on black screen, always better. Anybody who works in like computer programming or works in an office environment, white text on black screen, always better. Always has been. Okay, so we're still working on Polaron. And the thing about that is if we come back to the Pathfinder version, JP says now put it in LCARS. I don't know what that is, actually. Okay, Gunslinger. Gunslingers use firearms. Firearms can jam. Alright, so here we go. It's so tiny I can barely read it. But I can make it bigger. Okay, that's a bit better. Very rare guns. Firearm rules. Okay, you gotta be proficient. Firearms are exotic, but they do require their own proficiency. Capacity, range penetration, loading. Misfires. Okay. So here's how firearms work in Pathfinder. If a natural result of your attack roll falls within a firearm's misfire value, that shot misses, even if you would have otherwise hit the target. When a firearm misfires, it gains the broken condition. While it has the broken condition, it suffers from the normal disadvantages of broken weapons. And the misfire value increases by 4 unless the wielder has gun training particular to that firearm, see the Gunslinger. So let's look at broken. Items that have taken damage in excess of half their total hit points gain the broken condition, meaning they're less effective. If the item is a weapon, any attacks made with that item suffer a -2 penalty on attacker damage roll. Such weapons only score a critical hit on a natural 20 and only do ×2 damage on a confirmed critical hit. I'll be honest with you, JP, I've only actually had one Gunslinger in all of my Pathfinder campaigns, and it was great. And this is after like years of begging somebody to play a Gunslinger. And it was just really bad luck. What happened was I had them infiltrating this manor because the objective was to capture this girl who was at her coming of age party. Okay, because this is the campaign where they were playing the evil party. So they're getting in there. The idea was actually really simple. They're supposed to either sneak in and kidnap her at the opportune time, or they can bust in, slaughter the guests, and just go completely barbarian on this whole thing. The choice is theirs. All they got to do is make it their own. All right? That's the way I like to play. I don't railroad my people. I say, here's your objective. Figure it out. I don't care how you do it. Use whatever skills and abilities you have to accomplish the goal. As long as it's within the rules, I don't care how you do it. So they were going in there. They're trying to all sneak in. And the fact is that, like every good Dungeons & Dragons party, like every good tabletop party in general, they immediately split up and went all their different ways. And I don't mean they split the party in half, and, you know, half of us went this way, half of us went that way. It was a party of 5 people, and all 5 people went different directions. So, I mean, right off the bat, we're doing great. What ended up happening is everybody had infiltrated the building in different ways in their own time. I had a paladin who was trying to sneak around and, like, find a way to, like, assassinate her. Didn't say it was a good paladin, just said it was a paladin. And in the meantime, I have this dwarven gunslinger who is trying to sneak in. And the unfortunate thing for him is that he's, like, barely tall enough to climb through the windows. So he's struggling. And of course, you know, this is a manor for a very wealthy family. So, it's a party, there's people everywhere, all the guests and everything, which means there's eyes everywhere. And the guards have been doubled, just because, you know, it's an important event. So there's guards that are walking around everywhere. And of course, they're carrying their weapon, their sidearm, usually a sword. And because it's at night, because they waited for nighttime to do this, all the braziers around the building are lit, and they're all carrying torches. The savvy among you might realize where this story is going. So while they're sneaking around, eventually a couple of them get caught. Okay, so there's a couple of sightings of people sneaking around. Now the guards are on high alert. My paladin who's in there tries to assassinate a guard. Can't. Misses several times until eventually the guards notice, because, believe it or not, the first time an arrow went by them and hit the far wall of the corridor, they actually didn't notice. Didn't notice the second time either. Third time, though? Ah, yeah, they saw that. Well, they heard it, rather, as the arrow snapped against the brick walls. So now they're onto something. They know there's something in here. Things are bad. They're coming in here. My dwarven gunslinger happens to be within the study of the manor. And the study is a study. It's got a couple of braziers lit. So there's some moderate light in there. But otherwise, I mean, it's empty. For now. My paladin, who just got found out, retreats into the study. The guards are coming, they have their swords out, and they're carrying torches in their offhand. And so when they come into the study, everybody tries to hide. However, because the braziers only give moderate light, the corners are all dark. So I had them go and check each corner. Since they're carrying torches, they're just like, hold on, let's check each corner and then we'll go back out. So they go, they check 2 corners, and my players are like terrified because they're sneaking off into the only corners that still, or that are not looked in yet, and they're getting cornered. Until eventually, you know, they do get found out. So here is my kobold paladin and my dwarven gunslinger and a couple of the manor's guards. And so, they go for it. Now, as I recall, my paladin just said, you know, screw this, and just went whole hog after one of them. My gunslinger, not as eager. However, since the guard is using a sword, he's got to close in. My gunslinger doesn't get a chance to really use his gun because, number one, he wasn't fast enough to pull it out, and number two, well, right now there's 2 guards in there. Fire off a gun? There's liable to be more. And so the fight begins, and they're fighting, they're swinging back and forth, they're trying to hit each other. I don't remember how it happened, but my guard got disarmed. And so his sword is gone. But he still has a torch. So instead of going to grab his sword, he starts fighting with the torch. Now, a torch doesn't really do any damage. It does like 1 damage. But a torch has the chance to light you on fire. And according to the rules, if you catch on fire, not only do you have to make a saving throw to put yourself out, but every piece of equipment on you has to make a saving throw to not be burned up. That includes my gunslinger's clothes, my gunslinger's pack, my gunslinger's weapon, and my gunslinger's ammunition. He was carrying something like 40 pounds of black powder on him. Obviously, because he had to roll the reflex save for every single bag of black powder, one of them was going to fail. And one of them did. And so I said, alright. Pathfinder has bombs. So, how much damage does a black powder bomb do? And I don't remember what it was, but a bomb does a lot of damage. And they said, and you have how much powder on you? So I then started multiplying this by however much black powder he had on him. The result was, and I wish I still had the picture. I had to use what I call the rule of halves. So what I did was I figured out how much damage does this do, and the damage was in the thousands. And I said, your character, this square, takes however many hundreds or possibly thousands of damage. Okay, your character's gone. I'm sorry. And then on the map, because we're on Roll20, I just drew a circle around his square. And then I drew another circle around that circle, and just circle on circle on circle, and I kept having the damage as it goes out. I think I ended up with something like 9 circles before the damage finally hit 0. And then I looked up, it's like, how much damage can stone survive? And as it turns out, not only did he evaporate, JP, but the blast literally vaporized the stone wall around him, and then blew out the surrounding wall and left an entire cavernous opening in the side of the manor. It killed him, it killed the guards, it killed the wall, it killed the room. I mean, he's one of the only players in all of my games to have killed a building. It was enormous. So, yeah. After all that time that I wanted somebody to play a gunslinger, and then, yeah, I lost my gunslinger. It was kind of a sad day. But, I mean, if you have to go, I mean, that's the way to go. That's a memorable way to go. Songs will be sung. I don't think anybody actually wrote any songs. I've had several bards. None of my bards write songs. I've even told them, I'll give you extra XP if you write songs. Like, every time you want to use this, every time you want to use Song of, like, Freedom or something, if you actually write a short song, you know, just a little ditty, and then sing it, when you use the ability, I will give you extra XP. No one does it. Okay. So, anyway, back on track. That was a long diversion. Tuck says the objective of D&D is not to survive. It is to die in a memorable way. That's half true. The objective is to survive. However, if you're not going to survive, go out in a blaze of glory. Maybe. I will say I actually don't encourage my players to go out in a blaze of glory because the rules that I play by, if it's not a party wipe, okay, if it's a party wipe, the game is over. But as long as one person lives, everybody else can make new characters, and the story can continue. So, generally speaking, in all of my groups, I have them, when I tell them this, they pick one person to be the designated survivor. So when shit goes sideways, you leave. We can make new characters. You have to leave now, though. And it's never a total loss because my rules, if your character dies, your new character takes a -1 level penalty. So if everybody in the party was level 5, and then everybody but one dies, then the level 5 character gets to stay, and then everybody else gets to make level 4 characters. If you retire a character, because I will allow you to retire your characters if you want, retired characters take a half-level penalty. Tuck says players choose among them which is the main character. That's hauntingly accurate. I never thought about it that way. But yeah, retired characters take a half-level penalty, and the reason is I've had players, who can go through characters like Skittles. Okay? I mean, seriously, if I were to allow them to do so, they would have a brand new character every single session. So, to discourage them from doing that, if you retire your character, you go back a level. But because the character isn't dead, I will give you half of the XP needed to get back to your proper level. And that's become my rule of thumb for all of my tabletop games, or at least all of those that require experience points. That means that, if you absolutely hate this character and you need to play something else, then there you go. And I think that only a half-level penalty is fair. It's important, though, to keep in mind that, at least in my games, everything is based off of the party average. Which I think is common among most games. I don't know if that's very unique to me or not, but I average the party's level, and that's the basis for things. That means that, if we have 5 players, 5 of them are level 5, 1 of them is level 4. The party's average is going to be closer to 5 than 4, which means that things are going to be a little bit harder for that level 4 character. Not much harder, but a little bit. And so they're going to have to be a little bit more careful. If 4 people died, they all have level 4 characters, but we still have that one designated survivor who's level 5, then he's actually going to have kind of a leg up because the average is now closer to 4. It's going to be basically a level 4 campaign with a level 5 character in it. It's not usually that much of a big deal, but if you have people who make these characters and then die constantly, because I've had people who do that, they like make a wizard, and then they run straight into combat, and it's like, you're a wizard! Stop moving! They don't. They have to run in. Anyway, if you end up with like a level 2 character in a level 5 campaign, you're not going to be having a good time. But I'm also not going to, you know, not punish you for your own stupidity. Stupidity is the rule of the land. Anyway, neither here nor there. So I think what we're going to do for the Polaron weapons is we're going to use the broken mechanic from Pathfinder. Let's see. Inflict broken CPFSRD. Okay. Alright, now after that long tangent, that's alright, it was a fun tangent. What's next after Polaron? Antiprotons! Oh, antiprotons are easy. These just have increased crit. Oh, looks like Blizz is out of here. Thanks for coming out, Blizz. Don't forget to subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. Alright, so anti-proton. On critical, we're going to go with, well, normally I would just extend the critical, but that's just a crit that does nothing then. What am I going to do with this? Well, it does say critical severity. So instead of an expanded critical, I think we'll just do that. So, Ooh, actually. Ooh, I have a better idea. I have a better idea. Hold on. Okay, for disruptors on critical, I have a better idea. We're going to borrow from 5th edition D&D. We're going to give it advantage on damage. So for the damage on your disruptors, roll twice, take the better one. This guarantees you more damage. A lot of damage, a little damage, I don't know. But either way, you will get more damage than you did before. For antiproton, on crit, ×2. Or just, you know, roll twice. So there we go. There's your crit severity. Disruptors will give you more damage in one shot. This will just give you, like, maybe double damage. Maybe. We'll see. I think that's pretty good, actually. And then photon damage. Right, we did, or not photon damage, proton damage. Proton damage we did with the ship weapons. And this is just going to ignore shields. And that should be pretty good across the board. I think so. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to copy this. We'll paste it down here. And then for here, we'll go with rifles. Now, what are we going to use for rifles? So we're going to come down to long arms as soon as we can find it. Here's small arms. Oh, where was that? By the way, you can get flare guns. Pathfinder has flare guns. They actually do damage. I don't know why you would, but I mean, you can. Okay, long arms. Let's look at laser rifles. Laser rifles are kind of the same. Actually, we've got a full gamut here from level 1 to level 20. An automatic? Is that literally what I think it is? In addition to making range attacks normally, a weapon with this property can fire in fully automatic mode. No actions required to toggle. When you make a full attack, you can attack in a cone with a range of half the weapon's range. Yes, phasers actually, well, phasers by default will stun on a crit. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this one to you. Let me throw this one to you. You can have one of the two. So phasers as they stand now, on a critical hit, they will automatically stagger somebody. Well, no, actually hold on. Maybe I could do both. Just the ability to do either lethal or non-lethal damage. That's actually a really good point. No, I think so. Okay, we don't really need that. I feel like this is giving phasers a little bit too much, but I mean, they are kind of the signature weapon of the setting. So these can do lethal or non-lethal. Alright. That was a good point, Tux. So we'll keep that. As for rifles, so we're going to go with actually, let me think about this for a second. While I'm doing that, I'm going to keep working while I think about this, but we're going to use laser rifle stats. Actually, you know what? I might be able to kind of do a little bit of a mix and match thing here. So we've got the damage types. If you come back here, so we have compression, dual pistols. Dual pistols will just pick up 2 pistols of whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So you got compression, pistol, and wide beam. So compression, pistol, and wide beam. I'm having a bit of a brainwave here. I'm having a bit of a brainwave here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this down here somewhere. Okay. So, wait, where am I? Oh, there we go. Ah! My mouse has a little wheel on the side of it and I keep bumping it. Okay. So, STO weapon types. We can go ahead and unmerge this. Alright, so we've got compression. We've got stun and wide beam. Then under rifles we have full auto. We have high density. We have sniper, which I really feel I don't need to add here, but I'm just going to stick it there for now, and split beam. And then for assault, we have assault minigun. We have blast assault. And we have pulse wave assault. Okay, okay. So what I'm thinking here is, like I said, kind of a mix and match system where you'll be able to basically build your own weapon. You'll pick the frame of your weapon, whether it's a pistol, rifle, or heavy. Then you'll pick a type of whatever you want it to be. So a pistol frame, a compression type, and then you'll pick an energy. And we'll end this. This will give us our criticals. And then I think that these will give us our special properties. I think this is going to be good. Okay, so instead of making the phaser simply lethal or non-lethal, we're going to remove this. Okay, we're just going to remove that. I'm going to move this column over here. Okay, we don't need this here anymore. We're basically going to make an entire system just to build weapons. I'm going to put this over here for now. Yeah, I'm going to put this over here for now. Okay, here's how this is going to work. So the first thing we're going to need is frame. Now I'm getting into it. Okay, I'm getting into the groove here. So we need a frame. This is going to be pistol. Rifle. And then heavy. Well, okay. Heavy is a little bit broad. So we'll go with, actually we'll go sniper. We'll go with no, actually we're going to go with shotgun because that's what pulse waves are. Pulse waves are shotguns. Minigun, cannon. Okay? For the frame, pistols will use laser or they will use laser or well, no. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to be either beam or pulse. Okay, and there's going to be a very important distinction later. Rifles will be beam or pulse. Snipers will only be pulse. Shotguns will only be pulse. However, we have shotguns in here. Somewhere. Wait, it might be called a scattergun. Okay, yeah. So we have scattergun. They have the blast property. For each attack you make with a weapon with blast special property, roll one attack against each target in the cone, starting with those closest to you. Each attack takes a -2 penalty in addition to other penalties, such as the penalty to all attacks during a full attack. Roll damage only once for all targets. If you roll one or more critical hits, roll the extra critical damage only once. Okay, so we got that. So the shotguns will be blast, minigun. Need to go down to heavy weapons. Too far down. That's grenades. We'll actually probably have to look at grenades. Man, I didn't want to be here for another 4 hours. Last stream was 4 hours. That was way too long. Nobody wants to listen to me for 4 hours. Okay, heavy weapons. Cannons. Yeah, this is all rifles. So, for cannons... this will work well for our blast assaults. Yeah. Okay, so for blast assault, for the cannons, these are just going to be blast and unwieldy. How the hell do you spell wieldy? There we go. Wait, is that still wrong? Whatever. Alright, I still need minigun stats. I know there's one in here. Let's see. Cannons, reaction cannons. Grenade launchers? Do I not have anything for like a minigun? I should. Wait, machine gun. Here we go. This'll work. So machine guns are automatic, obviously. So we'll just go with automatic and unwieldy. That makes sense. Oh, it's unwieldy, not unwieldy. Okay. And then sniper... I don't think there's anything special about snipers except for their range. Let's see. Projectile. Where's my sniper rifles? Long arms. Wait, snipers might actually be down further. Heavy weapons. Sniper weapons. Okay, yeah. They do have the sniper quality. So weapons with the sniper special quality can be aimed accurately at very long range, so they have an additional range value under the sniper. So for example, this Sheeran Eye rifle has a range of 70 feet, unless you're sniping with it, in which case the range is then 250 feet. Okay, so sniper. JP says knockback on sniper. No, sniper is going to have additional range when sniping with it. The drawback on this, let's see. If you aim the weapon... Yeah, weapons with the sniper special property can fire accurately long range if aimed properly. If you aim the weapon as a move action and then fire it in the same turn, use the value listed on the special property. So basically, you can move and fire a sniper rifle as a regular rifle. But if you want to use it as a sniper rifle, it is a full round action. Which then, of course, goes back to all the other rules. If you can't even take a full round action, such as if you're staggered, you cannot use the sniper rifle as a sniping weapon. You can still attack with it, you just can't, aim and fire at the same time. So there you go, super easy. So this is going to give us our frame. So you'll pick your frame first. Then, because you next pick your crit type. we're going to go ahead and copy this, clear it out. We'll put this up here. This can be deleted. So then you can pick your energy type and your crit. So up here, the beam and pulse don't really matter that much, honestly. It may have special properties later on, but it's your choice. Actually, I'm going to do this. It's mostly just flavor. There we go. I mean, I suppose we could look at this and say that... I mean, perhaps a beam would give it the line effect, but then what would we do for the pulse? Actually, I know. I'm not going to do that, actually. Hold on. Okay. So here's what the beam is going to do. The beam is actually going to cost more, but it'll have the line effect. So this is where we get into batteries, okay? This is where this is going to get really important. So when we're looking at Starjammer weapons, you'll see that they have a capacity and a usage. Now, in general, since we're looking at sniper rifles right here, this, my Sharon I rifle, because I like this rifle. This is a good rifle. It has a capacity of 1 round. It's basically a bolt action. And it uses 1 round, okay? That's pretty easy. We all understand how that works. Now, here's where we come up to heavy weapons. Okay, so we got heavy weapons, laser weapons. So this azimuth artillery laser, it has a capacity of 20 charges. Okay, 20 charge battery. But it uses 2. Now, why they couldn't just write this as 10 charges and using only 1, I don't know. But this is the way they did it. So, the artillery laser has 20 charges, and there you go. JP says there's a musket. Actually, yes, there is actually a musket in here. Somewhere. Well, it's in here somewhere. I know it is. Because I mean, if you're gonna play a sci-fi game that may have like sniper stuff in it, or it may have, you know, just like bullets and maybe time travel stuff like that, you gotta have it. It's in here somewhere. I don't remember. But I mean, there's a bow. Do you want a bow? Because you can use a bow and arrow. I'm not sure why you would, but hey, you can. It does have the quick reload. So, I mean, that's good. Yeah, and here's all of your batteries. Charges and cartridges. So, like, if you only need 20 charges, like on that, the laser cannon, you can get a battery. The next laser cannon up, however, requires high-capacity batteries. They're more expensive. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's it. Okay. Bow for stealth? I mean, that's a good point. Bows really wouldn't make that much noise. There's really no silent weapons in here. We've also got these carbon edge shurikens. So if you want to be a ninja, they only have a range of 10 feet. They only do 1d4 damage. They do cause bleeding, though. So, I mean, you want to be a ninja? You can be a ninja. Why not? Make it your own. Star Trek ninjas. If you play as a Voth, you could even be a turtle ninja. Okay, so what were we doing before? Right. So we've got our frames. Not Space Ninjas. That's a different game. Not Space Ninjas. We got our weapon frame. We've got our... Okay, we've got our energy type. And then this just gives us our criticals. I don't have to spend a lot of time reformatting. There we go. Alright, and that just leaves now the special properties. So this is going to be... yeah, this is going to go ahead and be the... What are we going to call this? I don't know, I'm just going to call it weapon type for now. Just going to go ahead and call it the weapon type for now. So copy, paste. Alright, so pistol, 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 rifle, rifle, sniper, split beam is a rifle, and then heavy, heavy, and where was the scatter gun? I don't remember now. Scattergun shells. Okay, scattergun. It's a projectile weapon, and it is under long arm, so it's basically rifle. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. It's got to be a scattergun type. So, because it is unique. It is very unique. And I say that because in Star Trek Online, I actually do have one character with, like, the entire team using pulse waves. It is not fair. It is not fair at all. I mean, they bust into a room and they just literally knock everyone down. Which means that, for the weapon type... Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to copy this so that I can move it down. We're going to go with descriptor frame special. Okay, so this is going to be where we get our special properties. These are going to be so broken by the time we get done. Who's going to use the regular weapons? Actually, it's okay. There's really no reason to use the regular weapons unless you find a weapon in there you really, really like. Okay, so compression guns. These will also stagger. Okay, Tuck says if we have space ninjas, we also need to have space pirates that carry muskets, wear tricones, and drink rum. I mean, technically, I can't stop you from doing that. If you want to be space pirates in the Star Trek universe, I mean, pirates are a thing. Let's see. So, Actually, hold on. Stun needs to be stagger. Compression pistols. Compression pistols need to have a knockdown. So, compression pistols will be knockdown. Wide angle is very easy. Wide angle is just a cone. And I believe that is what the thing is called, right? Or do they just use the blast effect for that? Oh, hey, there is actually a stun in here. What does stun do? You can set the weapon with this special property to stun mode, while in stun mode, the weapon's attacks are all non-lethal. Okay. Fantastic. I don't really see anything really to add here. I mean, our, Actually, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. For stun, we're just gonna use stun. That means that we can use stagger for compression. That works. So if you wanted to pick, you could say, I'm going to pick a rifle. I want to be a beam rifle. I want it to be a phaser beam rifle. And I want it to be a stunning phaser beam rifle. So I can choose to do non-lethal damage with my phaser rifle, and on a crit, it will stagger as well. That works. And Tux says Starjammer was way ahead of you with this phaser stun mode. Yes, they were. Except theirs, I believe, is a taser. Well, close enough. They call it a pulse caster rifle. But it's basically just a lightning gun that can electrocute you from 50 feet away. Technically, the arc emitter would be your tasers. Although it says unwieldy, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, full auto is very simple. Automatic. High density. High density weapons also come with like the compression version, so this will also be stagger. Sniper is a sniper rifle. As for split beams, I do believe the split beams will also get the automatic, because they basically work the same way. Now, miniguns, also automatic. The problem here is that now I've got automatic on the miniguns twice, because up here in the frame, the minigun has to be automatic and it's already unwieldy. Oh, I know. So, automatic. Instead of just adding automatic twice, we'll go with line. Because line and automatic are different things. And I guess you can choose between one or the other. Yeah, we'll play it like that. You can choose between automatic fire or line fire. Line fire is basically just one long line hitting everything in there, or you can spray and pray. And I mean, that's kind of what miniguns do in general. Miniguns were always like suppressing fire. Let's see, Blast Assault is just blast, but what else can we give it? Let's see. Plasma cannons have explode. Each creature, or yeah, it has a blast radius. So, maybe not. Well, hold on. Let's check this. Ground weapons. Blast assault. Let's see. Blast weapons possess the lowest DPS potential. Don't really care. They shoot bolts of energy. That's fine. No, wait! Secondary fire mode that shoots a concentrated bolt of energy at a single target, which then explodes, causing damage to enemies within a certain radius. It is literally an explode weapon. Okay, so... okay, I'm having an idea. I'm having an idea here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get rid of that line right there. And I just made a big white space. There, fixed it. Okay, so we're going to go with heavy. And this is just going to be unwieldy. And this is going to go away. Well, actually, we're going to go ahead and put pulse there, I think. So we'll put pulse. That way we got the right flavor. Now, for minigun, automatic, and for the blast assault, explode. And there we go. So you want a heavy weapon, it's unwieldy, it's a pulse type, you can pick your damage type, and then you can either have minigun or assault. And that'll change what your special is. Now, the shotgun already has the blast property. Is there anything else that we can give it, though, to make it a little bit more special? Where were the scatter guns again? Just analog and blast. Yeah, just analog and blast for all of these. So the analog we've got covered because of the fact that it's a pulse weapon. Blast should really be down here, I think. Yeah. Yeah, because sniper and blast don't actually belong up here. They really don't. So put blast down here where it belongs. And I guess that means that there's nothing really up here that we need to put. You just don't really get an option with these. You can't have a beam sniper rifle or a beam shotgun. Just the way it is. Alright, so I think that pretty much takes care of all the weapons. You can build pretty much any weapon you want from Star Trek Online with this list here. The other thing that we don't have done yet is Tetrion, but we need to have shields done before we can really work on that. So why don't we go ahead and take care of that now? We're going to make a new column over here, and we're going to call this shields. Well, okay, hold on. Personal shields, because shields are a thing. Well, actually, they're called personal shields in here too, aren't they? Armor. Yeah. Shields, personal. We need a different one. Energy shields. There we go. Okay, so I really need to know what slots are available now. Where am I gonna find that? Let me check something over here. So... Huh. Well, actually, that raises an interesting point now that I look at it. What if I didn't make it a unique piece of environment, or a unique piece of equipment? What if we go to armor and we instead look at augmentations? Let's see, armor descriptions, armor upgrades. Pretty much every single piece of armor has at least one slot in it. So if you wanted... Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Force fields. We might have all this work done for us. If you wanted to have personal shields, you might be able to just get it. It does not come with a description, though. Okay. I've got it right here on my other screen. You can't see it, but that's okay. I'll read it to you. A force field. You can activate or deactivate your armor's force field as a standard action. Once active, the device generates an invisible force field around you, including all your worn and carried items. It blocks solids and liquids, but not gases or light, which includes laser beams. You can breathe while the field is active, but you cannot eat or drink. While it's active, you gain a number of temporary hit points depending on the force field's power. So... it doesn't actually tell me here. Hopefully it does on this page. Wait, is it on this page? Oh no, wait, all the links are down here. Okay, force field description. Got it. Never mind, we've got it here. Okay, I'm good at this. Okay, the force field's temporary hit points are reduced to 0. It's inactive until the end of your next turn when its fast healing restores some of its hit points. So for the brown, it has a total of 10 capacity, so you get 10 extra hit points, I think. Right? Equal to the force field's power. Yeah, I'm going to assume that means capacity. So all damage dealt to you is subtracted from the force field's temporary hit points first. So it comes from the temporary hit points, but then it only has 1. Well, then what's the capacity for? Oh, wait, the charge capacity is the amount of temporary hit points granted, and the rate of fast healing can depend... Okay, so wait. If I'm understanding this right, this brown version will give you 1 point of protection. And at the end of your next turn, it will fast heal 1. But I guess it can only do that 10 times, after which point it's just spent. This purple one has 5. It'll heal 2, but every time you heal, it takes it out of this 10 capacity. Once it's gone, it's spent. Okay, that sounds overly complicated, but you know what? It works. I don't really think I need to do a whole thing on shields. I know there's like different kinds of shields, but I don't feel like designing all these different shields when we can just use this. Let me take a look and see if there's any reason why we would need to do this ourselves. Personal shields. So, all commissioned officers come with standard issue shields. Statistics. Yeah, that's just capacities. Those are the differences in the modifiers, which we're not going to be using anyway. Special shields? No. Where's just like the regular shield types? Because I know there was special ones, wasn't there? Or maybe that's just just for starships. Maybe just starships come with the different shields, like covariant shields or stuff like that. Maybe these just have the modifiers on them, in which case there's really no reason to go through and change anything. Tuck says the brown shield feels like it's not that useful. It protects you from brown things, though. And most brown things are bad. Think about it. Somebody comes to hit you with a tree limb, it blocks a tree limb. Tree's brown. Yeah, I don't see any reason why we have to do anything with this at all. I think we can just use the shields. And that means that you're not going to have shields by default. You'll have to invest in them if you want them. And technically, you can get... Let's see. The brown force field becomes available at level 3. So you're not going to start with them, but you can pick them up later if you want them. And it'll fit on any armor. So, I mean, that's great. So, this just saved us a whole bunch of time. Energy shields. Use force field. What is it? Force field upgrades. Okay, now, armor. The armor itself. Things are going to get a little bit complicated here, just because, well, Starjammer breaks everything down into either light, medium, or heavy armor. And body armor in Star Trek Online is broken down into energy dampening, energy harness, integrated targeting, physical augmentation, recoil compensating, or polyalloy weave. I think that we can make this work by simply saying that, well, no, because that doesn't work. Because every class is going to have its own proficiencies when it comes to armor. So we are either going to have to, like, make this armor light so that everybody can use it, And I'm not opposed to that because, I mean, if you watch Star Trek, if you watch the original series where the security people just had those, you know, football helmets, or even if you watch Star Trek Enterprise where they had the Mako units, armor wasn't exactly a big deal. They had helmets on, they had, like, vests on, but it's not like they were walking out in power armor. So perhaps making all of these just different types of light armor is the way to go. That way everyone can use it. I actually think that's kind of the way to go. Okay. That's the way I'm going to do this. These are all going to be different kinds of light armor. If you don't want light armor, wear something else. So, all light armor. So we have energy dampening. And we'll go ahead and we'll make this column a little bit wider, so it's easier to look at. Oh, spelled that wrong. Yes, I did. We have energy harness. Integrated targeting. Physical augmentation. Recoil compensating. And then polyalloy weave. This is taking much longer than I thought it would. I should have changed the name of the stream. This is not going to be the add-ons. It's all going to be ground weapons and stuff. Okay, so this is our alloy, or this is our weapon, or armor types. Now, let's look at armor in Starjammer. For light armor, okay, so here's everything that we need to worry about in terms of armor. First off is level. Don't really care about level or price. I will figure out prices and levels later on. We need an EAC and KC. Now this is short for Energy Armor Class and Kinetic Armor Class, because you have different armor classes versus different things. Armor that's really good against lasers and plasma and electricity is generally not as good against just good old-fashioned bullets. Now, looking at this. First off, we are going to need to have... Well, I need to make some headers here, actually. I need to make some headers. So copy that, move it down a bit. So we're going to need armor type. We're going to need EAC, KAC, and you know what? I'm just going to delete this. We don't need it. We know what we're doing with the energy shields. We're going to need max dex. Armor check is basically going to be nothing because, well, very few light armors actually have a check penalty. I don't think that I'm going to bother with it. Same thing goes with speed adjustment. Upgrade slots are going to be important though, so we're going to go with upgrade slots. And then bulk. all of these, by and large, are light. So we're not going to bother with bulk. So then we just really have to determine these 4 things. Actually, I take it back. There is one more thing we're going to need. Well, no. How am I going to do this? So, this has to scale to your level somehow. And for this, we're going to need a grid. By and large, I don't know if the max dex is going to matter that much. Alright, let's think about this. So, let's start with energy dampening armor. Okay, so the entire idea behind energy dampening armor is kinetic resistance rating, energy resistance rating. This looks to be basically balanced overall. So it's the mark level of the item, which is S, times this. And in this case, the energy dampening armor is the same for each type. I think we'll borrow maybe the same thing. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead, copy this. I'm going to move it over because we are going to need a level. So we'll go there, and we're going to add in level. So, in this case, when we look at light armor, what is our just like generic armor? Okay, so our generic armor is either going to be the S-Dex suit, the second skin, or the flight suit. Any of these are not the same. In fact, all of them are better against kinetic than they are against the against energy. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this. I think we're just going to say the energy dampening armor. We're just going to make this equal. So it'll be just level times 1. And that should be really easy. And light armor around here maxes out at like... Well, actually, it maxes out at like 22. That was even got 23. Really good armor. Maybe the level doesn't actually matter. Maybe this level column doesn't actually matter. You know what? I'm going to leave it there. Okay, energy harness. What does the energy harness do? So, excuse me. Energy harness, it has an energy damage resistance rating. Just like the energy dampener does. However, the physical damage and kinetic damage are all higher, and it boosts your outgoing energy damage. Okay. Well, I think we can actually borrow from that. Ooh, actually, no, I have a better idea. Okay, here's what we're going to do with this level column. Energy dampening armor is going to be level 1 through 10. And we're going to copy what they wrote in there. So this will be level, or times 2. So this means that your energy dampening armor at level 10 will be giving you like a plus a plus 20 armor on all those things, which is absolutely insane. However, it's probably going to be the most prohibitively expensive one. Energy dampening armor is probably going to be really, really expensive. Now, the energy harness. This, I think, is going to be level 1 through 15. The energy level is just going to be the level times 1. Kinetic will be level times 1.5, and it'll get rounded down. Integrated targeting. So very similar to the previous one, we have the times 1.5 times 1.5. It has a better critical chance, though. We lost our background music, too. There we go. I like the background music. It made me sad not to have it. Okay, back on track. So, energy damage resistance rating, physical damage resistance rating. Oh, it won't stay running. Oh, it's okay. I got a fix for this. There we go. Okay, we have music again. The joys of streaming, doing everything on the fly. Alright. So we can borrow the same stats. What really is going to get us is this outgoing energy damage and critical chance stuff. Because the armor in here doesn't really get that kind of thing. However, might be able to maybe integrate this. Let's take a look at our augments again. So we want armor, we want upgrades. So infrared sensors, tensile reinforcement, automatic loader. Do we have anything that is going to be... Ah, there we go, targeting computer. Let's look at the targeting computer. The targeting computer helps you compensate for poor visibility conditions, ignore concealment on attacks you make. This doesn't have any effect against targets in total concealment. Okay. Okay, we can work with that. So if we're going to do integrated targeting, we'll probably just do armor with it built in. So for upgrade slots, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with 0 to 2. So you can get an extra upgrade slot on level 5 and 10 armor. So we'll go 0 to 2. And this may have to be rebalanced later on because armor is sometimes really hard to balance. Integrated targeting. Since the integrated targeting module is already level 4, it has to be a minimum of 4. And since we have a range of 15 there, we'll go with 4 to 19. And then we can just copy and paste this, I think. Actually, I think I know how to do this. I think I know how to better balance this. Maybe if we just have these numbers. That way, level 10 armor... This level 10 energy dampening armor, if I halved it, would only go up to like a plus 10. And then I could ditch the whole making a prohibitively expensive thing. The energy harness would be level times 1/2. KAC be level times 0.75. I like this better, actually. I like this better. Okay. Then we can just copy this. We'll put it down here. So that means that at level 10, your armor will give you a plus 10. I could technically make this go all the way up to 20 now. So you can always get it. And that'll just be like the basis for the armor. And I can even upgrade the slots. So it could have a potential, like, maybe 3 slots? Maybe 4 slots? Yeah, let's go 1 to 4. The energy harness, I'll have to think about it. Integrated targeting, you can't get until then anyway. Actually, here's what I think I'm going to do. Since this is a much more balanced way to do this, we'll allow this all the way up to level 20 now, which is good. The integrated targeting, of course, will have 1 less upgrade slot because one of them is being taken up by the integrated targeting. Same thing with the energy harness. Do we have anything to really make this go? Yes, the 0.75 is intentional. And that means that if you're at level 4, it'll be level 4 times... Or wait, no, I see what you mean. No, you're right. That's wrong. No, good call. Good call. I didn't see that. There we go. Yeah, times 7.5. No. My God. At level 20, you would have an armor class of... What would that be? 7.5 times 20? Well, the 7 times 20 would automatically be 140, plus another half. So, an armor class of 210? Yeah, sure, go out and fight a starship by yourself. You can take it. Alright, let's see. We were working on the energy harness, so we need to have some kind of outgoing armor. Also, we need a special over here. So, targeting computer. Comes with the cost. The energy harness. So according to Star Trek Online, the energy harness is plus 5% outgoing energy damage. How are we going to make that work? Wait, I want this one. Neutronium shell, pet carrier, phase shield, radiation buffer. No. What is this force pack? A force pack lets you fly at a speed of 60 feet with average maneuverability. You can use this for cruising flight at a usage of 1 charge per minute, but you're flat-footed and off-target while doing so. Changing from normal flight to cruising flight or back is a standard action, and it can't lift you if you're encumbered. Ah, force pack. If you wanted to play Iron Man in Star Trek Online. We really don't have anything in here. So we'll have to invent something. Alright, so we'll just go, we're just going to go plus level times 1 damage. Well, specifically, energy damage. So if you pick up this energy harness at level 1, you get a +1 on your damage rolls. You pick it up at level 20, you get a +20 on your damage rolls. I don't know, seems pretty fair to me. Okay, physical augmentation. Underbody armor. Physical augmentation. So, regular energy resistance. The kinetic resistance is 1.5, same as the others. So we'll just copy and paste this. There we go. Now, what makes it different? Plus 10% physical damage, melee only. Actually, we have something similar to this already. So if we go to light armor, and we back out of this, powered armor. So for things like powered armor, most of these give you additional strength. So while wearing powered armor, the armor determines your effective strength. You can use it for all strength-based rolls. Even if your strength is higher, you're limited to the armor's strength. So, for example, this battle harness. So it's got EAC, it's got KC, max dex bonus, speed 30 feet. However, the strength is set to 18. Which is a +4 bonus. So how are we going to do this here? Because we're going to have armor that kind of grows as you do. Okay. Here's what I think I'm going to do. This armor is going to be restricted to level... Let's see. Maybe level 4 and up? Yeah, I think it'll be restricted to level 4 and up. So at level 4... Maybe? No. Let's see. 2017, 18... 2019, 18, 17... 6543. Right. And then 2109. And then 8765. Okay, yeah. No, level 5. So level 5 to 20. And this is going to give you... This is going to give you +1 strength Let's see. +1 strength per 4 levels. So just like you would get if you were leveling up normally. So at level 5, which is when you can pick up the armor, you will automatically get a +1 strength while wearing it. At level 8, then you get a +2 strength. At level 12, +3, 16 +4, level 20, it's a +5. On top of whatever strength you already have. So if you want to be a physical attacker, that's the way to go. Now, next, recoil compensating. So this looks like it uses the same damage stats as the rest of them. So we'll just paste this in here. Resistance rating, let's see, plus 40% crit severity. How is that recoil compensating? Well, no, I guess if it's compensating to keep you or keep your aim on better. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so crit severity. I actually think I might have something with this. Let's look at combat feats. Improved critical. Alright. So when you score a critical hit with a weapon, increase the DC to resist that weapon's critical effect by 2. Yeah, I think that actually works. So we will just say bonus feat, improved critical. Now because of that, the prerequisite is a base attack bonus of +8. I don't think that I'm going to bother with that because I think we're just going to say ignore the prerequisite if you want to buy this. However, it does mean that we need to kind of restrict the level on this. So let's take a quick look at a couple of classes. Specifically, the soldier. When does he get a +8? He gets a +8 at the 8th level. Makes sense. Now, what about the Technomancer? Technomancer gets a +8 at the 11th level. The Mechanic gets a +8 also at the 11th level. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this level 10 armor. So you can have this level 10 to 20. And all it's really going to give you is just that bonus feat, so if you want to wear it, great. It'll still grow with you if you need it, or if you want to wear it forever, but that's all it's really going to give you. And that's going to bring us to polyweave armor, or polyalloy weave. This is just heavy armor. I'm almost tempted to make it heavy armor. So this has the same rating as the others do for kinetic for the energy. So this is going to be level times 0.75. But more importantly, the kinetic rating is a ×4. This could truly be broken. So this is just going to be level ×2. Just period. right out. Level times 2. In fact, I'm going to compare it to heavy armor. Oops, not this one. So armor, heavy armor. All the way down here at level 20, we have the Aegis Series Specialist, which gives you a plus 28 kinetic armor class. This may be a little bit busted. So... The energy dampening is... Wait, the energy dampening is at 1.5. Why is it at 1.5? This should just be 1. Yeah, just 1 and 1. Straight up. If I do 1.5, then that means that at level 20... this would then be an armor class of 30. So I think we'll do that. And that will keep everything pretty much in line with what Starjammer already does. And Tuck says kinetic attacks appear to not be the way to go. In general, no, you don't want to go kinetic. However, kinetic does also have some advantages. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what they are, but I mean, there are advantages. What were they again? Let's see. Weapons. So, energy damage. Each type of energy damage, so we got acid, cold, electricity, fire, and sonic. And then for kinetic damage, there is bludgeoning damage, piercing, slashing. So we already know that. The thing is, because these are your different types, the armor that you're wearing is also going to be protecting you from things like melee attacks. I mean, if somebody punches you while you're wearing armor, is it going to do a whole lot? Probably not. Hit him hard enough, though. And I mean, there are some weapons that hit really hard. And then, like, there's this Ripper dueling sword. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. It really is. The Ripper dueling sword is a chain sword. Dueling swords, crafted to be aesthetically pleasing, often seen as a rank and tradition. Many warriors train with them. The power blades are both Buzzblade and Ripper dueling swords bring this danger to the modern era with while the molecular rift sword, though unpowered, No, if it says Ripper, it's a chain sword. But I mean, this thing does 7d6 damage. That's nasty. So you really want to avoid that if you can. Not to mention, almost everything that is slashing based will also inflict bleeding. If you manage to get through with a slashing weapon, or a piercing weapon that can do bleeding, like, this cane sword, yeah, I mean, they deserve everything they get. Kinetic can be used. And you also have to consider that, you're getting a bonus on your kinetic armor class, but if you want to go if you want to go the kinetic route, you're probably going to have high strength. You're probably going to be more of a soldier class, so you'll probably have a great base attack bonus. You may even have some feats that help with that. The armor bonus isn't going to be as protective as you think it is. But the polywave alloy is not going to have any bonus. This is literally just going to be armor. Same thing up here. Now, in terms of upgrades, or rather upgrade slots. Light armor. So upgrade slots, we're talking... Well, how many do we have at the top? We're talking upwards of 6. But 6 is pretty rare. We're usually looking at like a max of 4. So I think this 1 to 4 is actually pretty good. We'll keep it with that. However, all of these... all of these will have 0 to 3. Just because they already have 1 slot taken up. Oh, and the polyalloy weave armor. I'm inclined to just let that start at level 1. So there we go. I think that'll do it for the armors. I'll still need to figure out the max dex bonuses, but I'm pretty sure that most of them are going to be pretty reasonable. Since they're all going to be light armors, there's no reason why these should go any lower than 4. At least nothing that I can think of. Okay, I didn't actually want to do that. I don't know why you would combine the 2 rows. Okay, there we go. So there is armor. Shields, as we already established, we're just going to use the rules that are in there. And I think this should be pretty good. So, what else do we need to do? I don't think there's a whole lot else that we really need to do. We've got the armor. So, armor's done. Shields are done. Weapons are done. Kits, as I already established, are covered under your class features. And starship equipment, we've already done that. I think we're done with making all of this equipment. The only other thing that I want to look into... is materials. So under engineering consoles, we have armor. And some of these are going to be very interesting. Because we've got this ablative hull armor. Ablative is just like layers. So that's kind of not really important. But tetraburnium, diburnium, electroceramic, parametallic, monotanium, and duranium. Or duranium and neutronium. These are all materials in Star Trek that I feel like should have special rules. For example, when I did my conversion for the FTL game, I took all the special materials in Starjammer and I used those for making special ship equipment. Because all these have different properties. Like this Abyssium. Abyssium is also called Feverstone, radioactive metal distinguished by a blue-green glow, believed to form when asteroids transmute in part into Abyssium in the darkness of space, where boundaries between the material plane and the abyss are thin. It can be used as a power source, and is sometimes used in higher capacity batteries. So, I said that if you use Abyssium to make a power core, maybe it gives extra energy. I think it's important that we use these other materials as part of the game. So like Abyssium ammunition. Weapons and ammunition fashioned for it emit low radiation in a spherical area of space for the intended wielder. Large weapons have this radius. Weapons and ammunition gain the bright weapon special property, as well as a critical hit effect that affects or inflicts the sickened condition. Of course, versus a fortitude save. Okay. So, I mean, that sounds right. So that's Abyssium, and of course there's all of these other ones which, you know, have all their different effects. So, like, adamantine. Adamantine is kind of a bulk or a staple in fantasy games, so it's even in here. Weapons or ammunition fashioned from adamantine alloy overcome the damage reduction of creatures with damage reduction adamantine. So, you know, great. So why don't we look up what some of these other materials do? For example, duranium. So why don't we go ahead and look up duranium? Alright, so I've got duranium up on my other screen. It's an extremely strong, silvery metallic substance used in alloys for hull construction of starships and space stations of numerous cultures, including the Andorians, Cardassians, Ferengi, Human, Klingons, and Trabe. Doesn't really say anything more about it. Applications. The outer hull of NX-class starships were lined with duranium. Federation Class F shuttles were. I don't really see anything in here that that screams at me special when I'm looking at duranium. Star Trek just treats it as though it were another kind of metal, which, to be fair, it is. Yeah, I don't think I can really do anything with this. I think this is kind of a dead end. Alright, so never mind. We're not going to bother with this. I might be able to turn these other consoles and stuff into different kinds of expansion slots, though, so that could be kind of cool. I'm not necessarily sure how I would do it, but maybe. Like this SIF generator. Not sure what SIF stands for. Wait, no. SIF. Structural Integrity Field Generator. Gotcha. That makes sense. This improves outgoing hull repair rates. Kinda useless in Starjammer, but maybe if I gave it, or gave the ship some kind of self-healing ability? If you're willing to dedicate an expansion slot to it? Maybe. Like an RCS accelerator. So every ship has a turn rate. Maybe for every RCS accelerator you install, you can increase the turn rate of your ship. So install an RCS accelerator on a larger starship. Say something with a turn rate of maybe 2? Like, here's a transport. So the maneuverability is average, no piloting bonus, it has a turn rate of 2. That means that in Starjammer you have to move 2 spaces before you can turn either one facing left or right. Since starship combat is on hexes, you're basically just making a 60-degree turn. So install an RCS generator, and you could lower this down to a turn 1. More maneuverable. What do you think about that? Does that sound good? Could be good. Subsystem redundancies could give you crit resistance. Maybe if you installed subsystem redundancies, you could increase your critical threshold. I mean, I kind of like that idea. Wait, no, go back to where we were. EPS flow generator? Not sure how we would use that. But maybe. I'm not sure how we would use it, but it has possibilities. Let's see. Booster modulator, plasma distribution manifold, these all increase power settings in Star Trek Online to your auxiliary weapons, shields, or engines. Not certain how we would use these. Perhaps with the plasma distribution manifold, that could just be a bonus to direct fire weapons. It wouldn't boost your tracking weapons at all, but maybe your direct fire weapons. Field emitter, increased shield power, injector assembly, maybe increase your speed. It's got potential. What about the other consoles? Because I'm actually starting to feel like maybe this is something we could put together. Tactical consoles. Let's see. Weapon type consoles. Variable geometry detonators is for mines. Starjammer doesn't really use mines. Not really useful. Warhead yield chamber for torpedoes. Okay. Directed energy distribution manifold or pre-fire chamber to boost either beam or cannon weapon damage. Either one of those could just be like a damage bonus for direct fire weapons. Although, to be fair, is there anything on here? Chain cannon just does that damage. Coil gun. No, they really do not make any differentiations between energy weapons or kinetic weapons. So probably just one expansion to do both. But that could work. There's also these specific ones. I don't see a reason to bother with these. Yeah, so basically this is it. Just either a torpedo damage or a beam or a direct fire weapon damage. Sure, why not? And then for science consoles, countermeasure systems. So that'd be really easy. That would just increase your target lock armor class. Emitter array, that would increase the healing of your shields. It says Starship Shield Restoration, so since every shield anyway does have a healing rate, so basic shields, you have 10 shield points and they regenerate 1 point every 10 rounds. So you equip this other console and maybe it goes up to 2 every 10 rounds. Why not? Dare I say why not? Flow capacitor is for drain. That's not terribly useful. Graviton generator for control expertise. Same thing for the inertial dampeners. I can see that being somewhat useful if you got the tractor beam weapon, but otherwise, maybe not. Particle generator, no. Power insulator, no. Sensor probes. Could be very useful, actually. So, sensors you already have. And they're in this. So they're divided into short, medium, and long. Sensor probes could maybe increase this by 1 factor. So if you had short, but you also had the sensor probes, make them medium. If you had medium, make them long. If you already have long, double the range. I think it's a good idea. I'll have to sit down and actually make this up. Or maybe that'll be the next session, because I think we're about done here. And then a stealth module for Starship Stealth. We already kind of agreed that cloaking would be a bad idea. Because the minute that I threw a cloaked ship against you, I think you'd be pissed. So maybe we just skip the stealth module. Otherwise, there's field generators for maximum capacity. Great. Nanite reinforced circuitry for hull regeneration. Also great. And shield emitter amplifier for more shield regeneration. So, just like before, increase the regeneration speed for your shields. Yeah, I think this is good. We'll have to look at expansion bays. I think maybe that's what we do next week. Because I didn't think it was going to take us this long to do ground weapons, but I like this idea. We definitely don't have the time to go through it right now, though. So, what I think I'm going to do right now is I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Because we've already been here for 2.5 hours. What I think I'll do is, for next week, I will have a spreadsheet set up with all of these consoles, and we can go through and figure out how to integrate those into Starjammer. And we already did the conceptual work, so it shouldn't be that hard. Once we get those done, we'll work on things like power needed or build points needed. And if we have any extra time, maybe we can work on a few extra races and such. I think that's a good plan. You gotta realize, though, I mean, think about this hard. This is like the third live stream I've done on this. So far, we have done... Ooh, that's bright. We have done races. And we spent like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that, on getting these races done. Then we did the ships. That took almost 4 hours, so now we're up to like, what, 6 hours? 6.5 hours? And now we spent another 2.5 hours on the ground weapons. This module so far has taken over 10 hours. So like when you go and you look at conversion modules for a game and you say, hey, I want to do a Lord of the Rings version of Dungeons and Dragons, so I want a conversion module to turn Faerun into Middle-earth, complete with the map and the distances and the materials and the magic system, because like the wizard that Gandalf is and the wizards you have in Dungeons and Dragons are not the same. Okay, your average wizard is not a Vala. So when you pick up a conversion module like that, and you're like, great, and then when they're saying, we would like $15 for this conversion module, and you're like, what? I'm not paying you $15 for a conversion module. This is why. This stuff takes a long time to sit down and figure it out. There's a lot of effort that goes into the conceptual part of it, and then the actual conversion mechanics, and then the balancing part of it. And Tuck says, yeah, role-playing systems take an unexpected amount of time to make, and that's assuming you're not making it up from the ground up. Yeah, because, I mean, there's some stuff that I've worked on just designing it from the ground up. using a base system, but saying, okay, I've got a base to work from, but I got to build like everything off of that. It takes time. It takes time. But it's worth it in the end. It's always worth it in the end. Okay. So, yeah, we're already up to like 10 hours working on this. We're going to come back next week and do even more work on it. But this is the fun work. Like, I don't think I could sell this. Number one, I don't know who would bother buying it. And number two, I'm pretty sure that Paramount or CBS would have a problem with it. So, couldn't sell it even if I wanted to. But I feel like it's worth something. Even if nobody bought it, it's worth something to me. I can take pride in that. So, all that being said, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream off here. So, I want to thank everybody who came out, which wasn't a lot of people. I imagine that these build-a-module streams are not exactly popular. I mean, kudos to you guys for sticking it out. Glad you're here, but very niche subject. Very niche. Maybe it'll get a bit more popular once we actually start playing. But that'll depend on, you know, how good of a campaign can I make and how entertaining can I be while running it, because tabletop games run poorly are boring as shit. I know, because I have tried to watch some of them. If you don't have entertaining people and a good DM, it is boring. So, that'll come down to performance more than anything else. We're not there yet, though. Soon. Very soon. I just need more people. Alright, so I'm going to get out of here. If you haven't subscribed already, and let's face it, there's like 2 people here right now, and I know you're both subscribed, so I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you, the person watching this later, the person who didn't come to the live stream, but stayed for the whole video afterwards. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And hit the bell icon, because notifications do work. I have proof. If you know anybody else who might enjoy this, or you just know somebody else who maybe wants to play a Star Trek version of Starjammer, because by the time we get done with this, I mean, you'll be able to just pick this up and play it. It's going to be great. Share this video then. Or don't. Don't really care. It's alright. Either way, whichever you do, don't forget to come back, leave a like on the stream, or leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below, especially if you have any special requests that you want in this. Like, if you think there's anything I'm missing here so far, like, I know that there's a few races that we need to go back and do, but if you have any requests that you think need to be added to this, then let me know. And one of these streams, I will do my best to go through and get them done. Because, like, this is my jam. If I could get paid to do this, I would do this 23 hours a day. I still need an hour for snacks. But the other 23 hours? Spreadsheets. All day. So, thank everybody for coming out, unless you didn't come out and you're watching this afterwards, in which case, thank you for staying through the whole video. And I will see everybody next time, either for the stream or the video after the stream. So I'll see you all then, and until then, take care.